Okay, welcome to another episode of Geek Shop. Chris is away. Chris is on vacation. He's somewhere in a warm climate, somewhere enjoying everything except he's probably geeking out. So, but I have a special guest with me today. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Derek Barton. You might remember me from such other videos that I've done with Geek Shop.
This is your third or fourth appearance on our Geek Shop?
Third full appearance. Yeah, I think I've got a few other. It's kind of peppered in there on when we've done like free comic book day or what have you. So I've had a few other things peppered in there, but this is my third feature. Yeah.
So Derek's a regular at the Geek Shop.
Oh, I am.
So Derek, we're going to talk about. I'm going to ask you about selling your artwork.
Okay.
Comic artwork, illustration, and where do you sell your work?
I have an Etsy store. Sorry, I primarily try to push that online as much as I can, and in lieu of finding actual like conventions that I can attend, I just post my work on Etsy.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, and I'm new to it also, I've seen Etsy, went on their website, but what is Etsy?
It's basically an online shop for artists, craft makers. I don't see like a lot of, there shouldn't be any like manufactured product. Usually items are typically homemade.
Oh, no, okay.
So it's kind of like a craft show online.
Oh, nice. Now, you sell your work on Etsy, then you do sell it for your Patreon page also, right?
I actually don't sell on my Patreon page. My Patreon page, I tend to put do some live videos or some drawings that I don't post online. I post a lot on my social media, on my Instagram, and all of that's for free. On Patreon right now, I've only got the one tier. It's $1. But over the course of that year, I will pick a piece of artwork and send it to a Patreon, one of my Patreon members, once a year. So like getting an original piece for essentially $1 a month for over the course of a year, pretty good bargain. But I'll put stuff that I don't post on my free social media, say journals on what I'm working on. Like a lot of my comic artwork that I don't post on my free social medias, I post on Patreon. My thoughts on page layouts, kind of the adventures and misadventures I had to get there. Stuff like that, and I do have on my Patreon, there are some links I share that are free, but there's also, again, the private stuff. A lot of it too is my personal, I put pretty well all the contents of my personal sketchbooks on the Patreon page, like stuff I don't share online. And again, my thought process is into that. I'm still kind of refining the process because I'm always at that like, can I justify keeping this behind a paywall for $1, or should this be free? But I just thought it was like it'd just be a way for me to, like a nice compromise for me to be able to.
So selling your work, what's the latest piece or page or artwork that you sold?
It was, wish I had a screenshot of it.
No, don't worry, we'll post it here.
Okay, perfect. It's a Batman piece. You and I got together drawing on one of our Instagram live feeds right around the pandemic era. We were drawing Batman one day. And I decided I was going to use gray toned paper, so I drew like an animated style of Batman on gray toned paper. And that was.
Oh wow! So there's a live drawing segment that you sold. That's great.
Yeah, and it was kind of surprising too, 'cause I never know if and when anything's going to sell online. It was earlier in the week. What my family and I do at least once, maybe twice a week, we go to our local coffee shop, Coffin Creek out in Curtis. Pick up a drink. I had to pick up some coffee beans, and the rest of my family liked the drinks there, so kind of went. I get out of the car into the parking lot. I hear a ping go off on my phone. Like, is a little different from my normal, like, set of message pings, and then I look. It's like, oh, because my phone, like the app will tell me in real time that I sold a piece. So it's like, oh my god, I sold a Batman.
Oh, nice. So did you go back to the coffee shop and buy more junk food and stuff like that and say, let's celebrate?
No, just because we were already going in, it was like, all right, well, we'll still do our thing, get my coffee, we'll get a drink, we'll chill for a bit. But right after that, I have to run home, find the portfolio this is in, and then go to the post office. Because I just take this to my, I just took it to my local post office. There's one I use across town from me that I like, that's always staffed. For a small bit, I have one of those small business cards through the post office. You can get them; they're free of charge. And what they do is knock a percentage off of products and services at the post office, including percentage off
nice.
shipping. Which for a small business like what I have, especially traveling the stateside or hoping that your piece arrives in one piece.
In one piece, that's the key thing. What size was the artwork? If you don't mind me asking it.
9x12.
Because I know you were doing index card size drawings for a while, so I wasn't sure if it was in that size or So
no, I think the small. I don't have the index card or the base, like the card size in my shop at the moment. I find those didn't really gain any traction. So I've got. I think the smallest ones I've got right now are comic board size. I did a few comic board drawings. I've got those, and then it's all my bigger sizes, like 9x12, 11x14, 11x17. I think I have a few 13x17, not a lot, but a few. Because for some reason, like when I do, say, a show live, like our free comic book day shows at Worlds, or if I've been invited to any of the local libraries to do a show when I can, those I bring to those shows because the index cards, the baseball cards, they seem to do better for me sale-wise live than...
Oh, wow.
But it would make sense to have them like on an online store because they don't require, like, you can just put them in a little, like a regular size...
Small envelope and that's it, yes.
Yeah, maybe it might be like a photo... Sorry, I'm just going to show you what I use because I don't... when I ship my artwork away, I find it best not to use like paper, vanilla envelopes. I use these... like the cardboard.
That's what I have, yeah. I like those things.
Yeah, it kind of makes
because there's 30 and they don't bend that easily.
No, like whoever's shipping it would have to make a conscious effort to.
That's it, yes.
But that's why when I ship them off, I always get the tracking, which also comes with the insurance.
Oh, that's
which
it.
means that whoever's buying from me isn't going to get a bad piece from me. I remember years ago there was an accident with one of my first pieces. I sold a sepia tone Spider-Man drawing that I did, and even with the do not bend and all that, that postal clerk found a way to bend a piece. I
think that it's one of those things, it's when you put "do not ban," you're putting a target on that envelope.
Yeah, but I was fortunate. Like I offered the poor guy that got that piece. I either offered I can draw you up another piece and send it out no charge. I can knock off something to the price on this. Fortunately, he was understanding. It's like, no, you don't, like, I'm putting it in a frame and this part's covered. But a little thing like that's like, well, thank you for, offering that. It's,
No, that's sad because it's even though you put it in a sturdy envelope, whatever, there's no guarantees what the post office or how the delivery is going to go.
exactly.
So so it's a hit and missing. Okay, so you mentioned about selling your work and stuff like live and on Etsy. Now, if you don't mind me asking, on how much do you sell your work for?
It depends on the piece. I'm right now kind of gauging by size of the piece because I think this is something I was never taught this in college, like how to price your work.
I think that's all of us. I mean, especially comic art. Like comic pages, comic drawings. You don't know how to gauge it. Yes.
Oh yeah, because you can actually, like, trying to think of a fair price, you can actually price yourself like low enough to a point where your potential customer, like, they don't like, if they think, oh, this is a cheap price, like, they can kind of gauge that you don't have much self-worth in your own stuff. But
But
then
I've went through that.
but if you sell it too high, then it's oh, this is too high. So, but on average, I believe my 9 by 12 pieces I sell for about $55, and then add the shipping, so like $10 for shipping. Just
That's
that
it. Yes.
that kind of helps with again, kind of mitigate those costs, because I forgot to factor that in early on. So by the time I factored in shipping and
But nowadays you have to be careful of shipping because, I mean, since COVID, shipping to Canada, let's say $10, shipping to US sometimes could be more because the prices have been all over the place for shipping in the last few years.
yeah, and that's kind of one of those. That's kind of a factor I try to be ahead of too. That's where, again, me having and a lot of these, like UPS, a lot of places have these small business cards. So I've got a few places that kind of help me mitigate the costs of some of that. I think I get 35% discount on shipping with my little free card.
Oh, really? That's not bad. See, that's good advice because I mean, anyone who wants to ship, I know personally, even with me, with my books and stuff, certain areas I stopped shipping because shipping rates are more than what the book's worth.
Exactly, and that's kind of the same issue I kind of have with buying my art supplies too. We no longer have a Curry's art store in my little neck of Oshawa.
Yes, now again, anything shipped anywhere,
No.
it's super expensive.
Yeah, I mean we have Michael's, but they don't always have, like, they have the basic art supplies, but I've kind of
Yes.
developed a preference on some of my art supplies, or in the case of my Copic markers, for example. Michael's does sell Copic markers, but they don't sell the replacement nibs or the replacement inks.
Oh, yes,
So,
yes.
like I can get markers, I can get a carrying case for the markers, but I've hit a point where I've got a decent collection of markers. But if I have to replace my nibs, if I have to replace my ink, I've got a couple of online options, but no matter which way I slice it, I can't walk into a store where I live and pick up what I need.
No, that's it. Well, one good thing about shipping, at least artwork wise, is Do you know the size? I mean, let's say you're doing a card size, like a baseball card size, or 9 by 12 or 11 by 17. The thickness of the paper, it's not going to be that heavy, so you could gauge what the weight is, what the packaging is going to be like. So at least artwork wise, you kind of have you could easily guess on what the shipping rates are. I mean, they could fluctuate high and low anytime because it depending on what they're charging and all that stuff. But at least you know how to package it up. It's easy packaging, easy shipping.
Yes, exactly. I think the only time where it gets a little, I had to get creative because I sell 11 by 17. So, and I haven't found like a plain like cardboard envelope. So
Yes.
so like I've learned, all right, for this piece, because last year I sold an 11 by 17 spider ham piece that I did.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that was a whole other thing. So that's where I had to get the plain, because they have the plain paper envelopes in that size.
And just put a cardboard in it.
Yeah,
or
a couple
something
pieces of
inside to
cardboard
ship it.
because we all have, like, anyone with kids or grown, like our generation that grew up with Saturday morning cartoons, we always have boxes of cereal lying around, so it doesn't take much to kind of cut down a few boxes to kind of.
Yes, to make it fit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how much of have you sold any of your comic pages?
No, I haven't put them on the market yet. That might be something I may consider, but that.
What about what about at a live show?
I've never put a price on them, but I do bring at a live show. I do bring the comic pages, if nothing else, just to show people, because a lot of because a lot of the shows I do aren't like dedicated comic conventions. Once a year, a couple of my local libraries do
Yes.
the fan con. So and because there's no admission, just library goers are kind of come and say, "Oh, there's something going on today. Let's see what this is." A lot of them don't know some of the processes to making comics, and since TikTok Tom and whatnot is self-published, there's no real hard rule on what kind of paper you have to
Oh, that's it.
really
Yeah. But
use.
nowadays you could use any paper, any tools, long as you could scan it and reproduce it. That's what matters.
Yep. But I'm still doing things the old school way. So where did I? So I still use like my 11 by 17
boards. Okay.
boards.
Now, do you find it when you're selling your work? Okay, you said you haven't sold any of the comic pages yet, but when you sell your illustrations and stuff, do you find it when you said you sell more of the card stuff when you're at the shows? Do you find it you sell pre-drawn ones, or do you have a lot of people coming up to you and say, "Hey, can you do a sketch of Optimus Prime for me?"
At the show, it'll be because I'll like at the shows, because I can't do this like on an Etsy shop, but when I'm at a live show, I'll do pencil head sketch, superhero head sketch, like say $10. And
Okay.
like I do put a few ground rules, because early on I used to get stuff like, I want a pencil rendition of Dan Levy. And I'm like,
Oh wow.
okay, so I had to do like, all right, it's gonna be a superhero, and I'll have like a sample of a sketch, and the sketch is gonna be along like this quality. Anything beyond this is going to be considered commission, because a superhero heads, like, I can draw a character.
And especially trying to get a Dan Levy's likeness and stuff. That's
Oh yeah, that
you know,
was.
unless
And I'm not known
That's a-
for real life likenesses, so it was a bit like, it was great on the spot, kind of stretching my muscles a little bit.
it could be a challenge, but then also you're right. It's like is it a quick sketch or is it a commission that's going to take me a while to do? So it's you have to draw the line somewhere.
Exactly. And I found it shows like that. There are characters that I'm asked to draw that I don't always think of drawing. Like get the odd, I get the odd request for, say, a Scooby-Doo character, or like Scooby-Doo. It's like, okay, not great with animal. I'll give it a shot, and then turns out, oh, I can actually do a pretty decent Scooby-Doo. I don't draw them often enough, but apparently I've got a cartoony enough style that I can kind of pull it off.
Oh no, your style fits that. So let's say you said $10 for a headshot. How much for a full body action pose? Would you
Live?
or when you do it?
Oh. I think I always, depending on how much I have to use, like if I start to have to get my pens and Copics involved, not too much.
That was the next question.
Yeah.
Yes.
That I tend to get into about a similar price. I guess case in point, I did a commission for a friend of mine for her son this past Christmas, $50, and it was a one-piece drawing, Monkey D. Luffy.
Oh, the manga character.
Yes. I need to put more manga in my work.
My daughter just put, mentioning that, she put 2 One Piece books on my desk.
Oh, nice.
Because this goes back to talk about manga and stuff like that, and she put those 2 for me to look at.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's something my brother-in-law talks about One Piece a lot. So it's something that's on my radar, but just hasn't, unfortunately, Marvel...
So how was drawing One Piece?
It was pretty good. Again, a little outside of my norms, because like it's one of those, I have to follow a specific style, but I still have to add my kind of flavor in there, otherwise I'm just copying pasting, right? So those...
Yeah, that's it.
So it's kind of like there are certain signature pieces or like certain characters that not a lot of artists, like growing up, we've had a lot of different interpretations of, say, Spider-Man or Batman and
yes.
various different styles. But there are certain characters, again, like Transformers that have a bit of an anime tinge to them. That hasn't deviated too far. Again, you got your Dragon Ball, your One Piece, that's specific manga
Now, when you
style.
When you did the One Piece, was it full color?
Yes, it was full color. Again, got my Copics, got my.
So you know
pencil.
what? If we can, I'll post an image of that up here so that people could see the final results.
All right, and that was and I did that that was $50, and that was actually for a friend. So you know what? Now that I've said this out loud in front of you, that'll probably be my price point going forward. Because I'm never prepared for that. Oh,
and that was a full body piece, or was it
like bust shot? Like it was a
bust?
So
Okay.
bust shot. So I might have to charge more for a full body.
No, because the reason I mentioned that is I see on social media outlets, people, once a year or something, they'll put up their page rates and all that stuff, and I see everything from headshots for $10 to $50, bust shots from anywhere from $20 to $200. So again, each artist, he or she is, it's all over the place. So that's why I was, it's, for me, it's hard to judge, what people charge and what I should charge also.
I've actually got a bit of a formula for that I've been working out. I guess it depends on your, like, starting out. If you're not really getting a lot of the commissions, you can start off low. Or at the lower end. But if you're starting to find you're starting to get like overwhelmed by the work, like say all of a sudden you're just getting nonstop
Yes.
like commissions, and it's to the point where it's kind of affecting your comic output or your day job.
That's it. At the end, yes.
And then at that point you can justify upping your prices a little bit, just if anything else, maybe to kind of pare that work down without losing as much It's kind of a balance. It's kind of a weird balancing act.
Balancing it out, yes. I've noticed some, artists like us where I've seen it where they'll say, you know what, I'm opening up commissions right now. I'm only doing 10 drawings because, life gets in the way, your professional life or personal life. So, they'll just do 10 or 20 drawings and say, okay, I'm not doing any more until a couple of months down the road.
Yeah, I haven't been popular enough to get away with that kind of tactic yet. But I'm not great at advertising commissions. I always kind of just draw. I like having fun drawing. I like drawing on camera. And then I just kind of put it in my Etsy shop. And then every once in a while, like, oh, maybe I should advertise and like maybe put the link.
Well, I remember one of the shows I went with Massimo, one of the fellow colleagues on TikTok, Tom. He brought his portfolio, and I remember people were looking through it, and I remember one lady bought his Tom Waits one.
Oh wow!
He did a drawing of Tom Waits, and it was funny just listening to them talk. She was a Tom Waits fan. Massimo's a Tom Waits fan, and they started talking. It just caught. I can't remember what he sold it for, but it was good. It's like, and then I remember a couple other shows with you guys. People looking for the portfolios and stuff. Hey, do you do drawings of this or that? And I can't remember who it was, but one of you sat down and started doing drawings and sold a piece.
Yeah, it's kind of organic that way. Like if a person finds that one piece and then can kind of connect the dots, like, hey, have you drawn this? That's how I got a few commissions at Fan Expo one year. Saw one Spider-Man and like, oh, can you draw Spider-Man Noir? Like I didn't have one set, but I'm like, Spider-Man Noir, I have gray tone paper. All right.
That's it. Yes.
So and
it's also a challenge saying, okay, I haven't drawn him like that, so let's try drawing him, see what it's like.
Oh yeah, and it kind of helped me a little bit, just because the person requesting it didn't realize I was as fast as I was. So, but he mentioned that like I can come back. I've got I guess this was one of those years that Todd McFarlane was in, and he was set to do a panel. So like, oh shoot, I got to get this done before the panel. And because I used the gray toned paper, my mid-tones for shading were taken care of, so I just had to add the shadows and have a whiteout pen on hand for the highlights. So a lot of that middle ground shading was already done because I used the gray paper.
Oh, nice.
An Adam Hughes trick there.
So to close off this episode, what advice do you give to any people watching here to sell their artwork? Best piece of advice. I'd probably say, if anything, figure out your pricing, figure out what's like reasonable but fair to you. Figure out, like, factor in stuff like shipping and where you want to ship to. Right now, my Etsy shop is limited to Canada and the US for now. And in the times we're in now, always get day-to-day updates. As it stands as of this recording, our little tariff war artwork, like any artwork and stuff like that under $800 isn't subject to tariffs. Oh no! Okay,
so that's
interesting to know.
That was the first thing I was afraid of. Like, oh, how is this going to impact me selling art to the U.S.?
That's it. And if you have larger pieces and stuff like that,
exactly. So yeah. So I'd say in this, like, I know this will date the video, but in this climate, definitely check on all those factors day to day. But and I would say the biggest thing is if your local post office does have like a points card or a small business card,
That's a good advice.
Yeah,
yes.
get one of those. That has saved me a small fortune on shipping through the local post office. I also have one for UPS, and I have one at my local Staples, which helps me with some of like my even though they have art supplies, but even some of my non-art supplies, like stuff that I have to print off my printer, or
No, that's a great advice, getting those points cards and stuff like that. Because even if you save 10%, that's 10%. That's
it's
so
something.
you're not charging your client. Yeah,
Exactly. So that's and like you said, being in Canada, like the shipping is all over the place, and again, sometimes the shipping cost is worth like more than the product you're shipping.
that's the problem. Yes,
So like anything you can kind of do to mitigate that, and I'm not saying exclusively like the post office or UPS, like any of your preferred shipping, ask about like a small business card or a loyalty card,
that's it.
because most of the time you'll find that they're for free, and they could save you off your overhead in the long run. So that's
That's it. Any savings, take it.
Exactly.
No, that's great. That's great piece of advice. Well, thank you for joining me today, Derek, and we'll have to have you on again at the Geek Shop again.
Oh, I'm always happy to make my way to the Geek Shop whenever I'm invited.
Thank you, and see you next time on Geek Shop.
All right, see you next time.